You're listening to the Agentic Executive, where we turn noise into decision-ready insight in 10 minutes or less. I'm Adrian Cross, and today we're talking about why so many smart strategies die on contact with reality.
And I'm Amelia Voss. If you've ever walked out of a leadership offsite with a beautiful plan, and 6 weeks later you're staring at your calendar thinking, there is no way we can actually do this, this episode is for you.
The failure mode we're tackling is what I'd call fantasy decisions. Commitments made as if time, people, cash, and attention are all elastic. On paper, they look elegant. In your operating reality, they're impossible.
And the cost isn't just a missed project, it's trust erosion. Your team learns that big decisions are aspirational theater, not executable commitments. The system reveals the truth. What actually gets done is what was realistically scoped.
So today, we're introducing a tool I use with founders and operators all the time, the Executive Constraint Canvas. 1 page, 7 minutes, before big decisions. It forces reality into the room before you sign up for something you can't absorb.
Think of it as a pre-commitment sketch. Not a strategy deck, not a memo, not another artifact to maintain. This is you, a pen, 1 page, and brutal honesty about what your system can actually handle right now.
The canvas has 3 parts: bounds, bets, and bottlenecks. Bounds are your hard limits. Bets are what you're actually willing to stake inside those limits. Bottlenecks are the choke points that will kill execution if you ignore them.
We'll walk each of those, show you how to use AI to pressure test them, and then give you a concrete action you can take before your next major commitment. Precision drives agency. This is a precision tool.
Let's start with bounds. Bounds answer a simple question. What is truly fixed for this decision? Not what you wish you had. What you actually have. Time, budget, people, and attention.
If you're leading a team, your default move is often to assume stretch everywhere. We'll find the time. We'll make the budget work. People can flex. But those are not bounds. Those are hopes.
On the canvas, bounds is just a small block with 4 lines. For example, time. We can allocate 1 team for 6 weeks, 50% capacity, no weekends. Budget. We can spend up to $150K this quarter without new approvals. People. We have 2 senior engineers and 1 PM who are actually available. Attention. I can give this 90 focused minutes a week, not more.
Notice what's missing in that list. Vague phrases like, we'll prioritize it, or we'll make room. If it's not expressed as a hard number or a clear constraint, it's not a bound. It's a wish, and wishes don't schedule well.
Here's a quick example. Say you're considering launching a new product line in Q3. Your bounds might be time, 12 weeks to launch. Budget, $200K cap. People, no net new hires. Attention, you as CEO can only be in 1 working session per week. That's your real sandbox.
And that sandbox matters. Because the moment you see it on paper, you realize we're not doing a full brand redesign, 12 customer interviews, 3 pilot markets, and a global PR push inside those bounds. The canvas prevents you from quietly assuming infinite everything.
Once bounds are clear, you move to bets. Bets answer. Within these limits, what outcomes are we actually willing to stake? What does good enough look like for this decision? Not in theory, but inside the sandbox you just drew.
This is where a lot of executives accidentally drift back into fantasy. They set Tier 1 ambitions with Tier 3 capacity. On the canvas, don't write the dream outcome. Write the credible outcome given the bounds you just committed to.
On the page, bets might look like 3 short lines. Primary bet. Launch an MVP to one existing market with 20 paying customers by week 12. Secondary bet. Validate willingness to pay for 2 key features. Good enough bar. If we hit 20 customers at X price with NPS above Y, we continue. Otherwise, we pause.
The good enough bar is critical. It stops you from quietly moving goalposts midstream. You're declaring upfront, inside these bounds, this is what success means. Patterns create power, and one pattern you want is define sufficiency before you act.
A useful question here is, if we had to defend this decision to our future selves 6 months from now, would these bets still look rational given the bounds? If the answer is no, you're probably over-betting.
And keep bets short. 3 lines, not 3 pages. The moment you feel the urge to add sub-bets and sub-sub-bets, you're no longer making a decision. You're hiding from one.
The third block is bottlenecks. This is where you identify the 2 or 3 choke points that will break execution if you don't design around them. Not theoretical risks, actual constraints in your system.
Common bottlenecks: a single key person who's already overloaded, a dependency on another team that operates on a different cadence, or an approval process that moves slower than your planned timeline.
Only one senior engineer understands the legacy system we depend on. Legal review cycle is 4 weeks. Our launch target is 12. Sales team comp plan doesn't reward selling this product.
The goal is not to list every possible risk. It's to name the small set of constraints that will absolutely block execution if you don't address them. You're looking for hard edges, not hypothetical worries.
And then, for each bottleneck, you write one concrete design move. For the comp plan, it might be, create a temporary spiff for this product for the first quarter. Now the bottleneck is not just observed, it's actively designed around.
So in under 7 minutes, your page now reads, bounds, your sandbox, bets, the outcomes you're truly staking, bottlenecks, the choke points, plus how you'll navigate them. That's not a strategy deck. That's an executable decision.
Now, where does AI fit into this? Not as a scope expander, as a constraint checker. You can use an AI assistant as a fast, unemotional partner to pressure test your canvas.
For bounds, you might paste your 4 lines into an AI and prompt, given these time, budget, people, and attention bounds, what am I probably overestimating or ignoring? You're inviting it to attack your optimism bias.
For bets, you can ask, given these bounds, are these outcome targets conservative, aggressive, or unrealistic based on similar initiatives? Suggest adjustments that keep scope constant but right-size expectations.
And for bottlenecks, given this context, what are 5 likely bottlenecks, people, dependencies, approvals, that I haven't mentioned? For each, suggest one simple mitigation that does not increase scope. Do not increase scope.
The discipline here is to treat AI as a constraint amplifier, not a permission slip. If your canvas says 1 team, 12 weeks, 200K, any AI suggestion that quietly implies 3 teams and 6 months gets discarded. The canvas is the boundary, not a draft.
Used well, AI makes your canvas sharper by surfacing blind spots. Used poorly, it tempts you into building a fantasy plan with beautifully written failure baked in. The tool is neutral. The way you frame the question isn't.
Let's talk about a few failure modes so you can avoid them. First, treating constraints as negotiable. If every time you hit a bound you say, "We'll just push a little harder," you no longer have bounds. You have suggestions.
And your team notices. When leaders constantly override the bounds they set, people learn that commitments are aspirational. The result is quiet disengagement. They stop taking your timeline seriously because history says they shouldn't.
Second failure mode, underestimating bottlenecks. You list them, but you don't design around them. It's like circling the iceberg on the map and then sailing straight into it. Identification without adjustment doesn't earn you any extra credit.
Third, turning the canvas into a long-form document. The moment this becomes a 5-page artifact with nested bullet points, you've lost the point. This is a pre-decision sketch. 1 page, 7 minutes, max.
If you find yourself polishing language on the canvas, stop. This isn't going in a board deck. It's there to pressure test whether your next commitment fits inside your real system, not the system you wish you had.
Let's anchor this with a quick before and after. Before the canvas, we'll launch in 3 regions, rebuild onboarding, train sales, and hit $1 million in new revenue by Q4. It sounds bold. It's also wildly unconstrained.
After the canvas, with real bounds, bets, and bottlenecks, the commitment might shrink to: we'll launch a focused MVP in 1 region, train 10 pilot reps, and aim for $250K in validated revenue, with a clear go or no-go decision at quarter's end.
On paper, that's less dramatic. In reality, it's vastly more likely to happen. And the fastest way to create leverage is to consistently do what you say you'll do. The system remembers kept promises.
So here's your action step. Before your next major commitment, new product, big hire, market expansion, system overhaul, take 7 minutes and fill a 1-page executive constraint canvas.
3 blocks, handwritten is fine. Bounds. Write your real limits on time, budget, people, and attention. Bets. Define the outcomes you're actually staking and what good enough looks like inside those bounds. Bottlenecks. List 2 or 3 choke points and 1 design move for each.
Then, if you use AI, run your canvas through it as a constraint checker, not a wish machine. Ask it to critique your optimism, surface hidden bottlenecks, and right-size your bets without expanding scope.
Do that consistently for your big decisions, and you'll feel something shift. Your calendar, your team, and your systems stop getting blindsided by leadership enthusiasm. Precision drives agency.
If this was useful, and you want more 10-minute briefings that turn vague ambition into executable strategy, follow or subscribe to the Agentic Executive in your podcast app. Make your next move count. And as always, stay agentic.